The Tamarind Drum. A long time ago, a dashing king ruled over a kingdom in India. While he was unusually handsome, he was also terribly vain. "I am the handsomest king on earth," he would gush, gazing constantly into mirrors. He ignored his kingdom, devoting all his time to grooming himself. Up in the heavens, the gods were miffed. Something ought to be done about this fellow, they thought. Horns, one of the gods suggested. How do you think he'll look with horns? The king woke up the next morning. Eesh! He let out a horrified cry. "Send for the royal barber at once!" the king ordered. Within a few moments, the royal barber was ushered into the king's chamber. "Look," the king whispered. "I am about to show you something." After considering the problem, the barber tugged at the king's hair. First, he pulled a little mop towards the right and then some towards the left. He managed somehow to cover the horns. "Now go!" shouted the king. "Inform the court that I am unwell, and not a word about this to anyone, or you will be severely punished." As soon as the barber was out of the king's chamber, he burst out laughing. Looking up at the tamarind tree, he couldn't hold back anymore. "The king has horns!" the barber said to the tree, and burst into peals of laughter once more. Later that night, a storm raged over the city. The old tamarind tree was knocked down by fierce winds and a thunderbolt. The wood of the fallen tamarind tree was given to the royal musician, who then fashioned a drum out of it. Meanwhile, the king was still hiding inside his chamber. To entertain himself, he told his guards, "Ask the royal musician to play some music outside my door." The royal musician prepared to begin the recital. As his fingers touched the new drum he had made from the tamarind wood, something surprising happened. Usually, the drum made a deep sound that went Dhum, 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 dhum. But today, it made an unusual sound that went, "The king has horns on his head! The king has horns on his head! The king has horns on his head!" The king was aghast. "I cannot stay in the palace any longer," he cried. He stormed out, grabbing the tamarind drum on his way. For several months afterwards, he made the jungle his home. He began to forget himself and observe the world around instead. "These butterflies are so stunning," he thought to himself. "And how gorgeous the forest is!" In the forest, his sole companion was the tamarind drum. Every time he beat the drum, it gave him some advice. Slowly, he learned to play it beautifully. The forest spirits and creatures were charmed. The creatures appealed to the gods. "The king has changed. Take off his horns and return his kingdom to him." Pleased with the king's transformation, the gods above agreed. The next day, when the king went to the lake to drink water, he noticed something odd. The face staring back from the water had no horns. Courtiers from his palace came to the lake. They said, "Your Majesty, please come back. The kingdom needs you." Delighted, the king returned to the palace. He always kept the tamarind drum beside him. It reminded him of the valuable lesson he had learnt. From then on, he became a capable and wise ruler.